I caught my girlfriend seducing my best friend on Valentine's Day. I exposed their loyalty test and delivered cold, ruthless revenge. Subreddit, you're going to need to bear with me because this is a pretty messed up situation, and I need to get it all out. I never thought I'd be posting here, but honestly, I don't know who else to talk to about this whole thing. I'm 27, male, dealing with drama from my girlfriend, 25, female. So, this story starts back in high school senior year. Picture this, your boy standing in the school parking lot next to my dad's restored 1967 Mustang. He let me borrow it for prom because my Civic wasn't exactly prom material. My date had just texted, saying she got back with her ex or whatever. Typical high school drama. I'm legit about to just head home and probably play some Call of Duty all night when this girl Jen walks by, looking all stressed. Turns out, her friend who was supposed to drive her just didn't show up. No text, no call, nothing. She's standing there in her prom dress with her phone dead. Classic 2014, iPhone battery life, am I right? We got talking and, I don't know man, something just clicked. She was actually into cars and knew what a 289 V8 was. Her dad restored classics too. That was pretty much it for me. We ended up going to prom together and honestly had the best time. She wasn't trying to be all fancy or impress anyone, just vibing and making fun of the DJ's horrible music choices with me. After prom, we went to this 24-hour diner with some friends, and she ordered a massive plate of cheese fries and didn't do that fake I'm not hungry thing. Real ones know what I'm talking about. Fast forward through college, we did long distance because she went to state and I went to tech, but we made it work. Every other weekend, I'd drive my beat-up Civic 3 hours to see her, or she'd take the bus to come see me. We'd game together online when we couldn't meet up. She was actually better at Rocket League than me, but don't tell anyone I admitted that. That's also when I met Jake. First day of freshman year, we're in the same computer science class, both wearing the same Metallica shirt. We started hanging out, found out we were both into bikes. He had this clapped-out Ninja 250 that barely ran, and I had just gotten my license. We spent more weekends fixing that bike than riding it, to be honest. After graduation, Jen and I had this crazy idea to start our own consulting business. Everyone said we were stupid to turn down our corporate offers, but Jen supported it 100%. She was working entry-level at some marketing firm, but would bring us energy drinks and pizza during our all-nighter coding sessions. She even learned some basic HTML and CSS to help us with our first client's website when we couldn't afford to hire anyone. Those first 2 years were rough, man. Living off ramen, working out of my garage because we couldn't afford office space, taking any client we could get. Jen never complained once. She'd sit in the garage with us, working on her laptop, ordering cheap Chinese food, and just being there. She even helped us pick our company name and designed our first logo. Then things started picking up. We landed a big client, then another, and suddenly we had enough money to rent actual office space. Jen got promoted at her job too. Life was good, you know? We moved in together, got a decent apartment. I bought my street bob, 2018 if anyone's wondering, and she'd go on rides with me on weekends. Nothing crazy, just cruising around, finding new coffee spots. Everything changed when Jake met his girl, Kate, 26, female, at some tech conference in the city. She was handling marketing for this startup that ended up going nowhere, but man, that chick could talk a big game. The first time I met her, something felt off, like she was interviewing for a job instead of meeting her boyfriend's friends. Every conversation somehow turned into this TED Talk about personal branding and leveraging social media presence. Before Kate, our weekends were simple, working on bikes, gaming, maybe hitting up a car meet. After, suddenly everything had to be these fancy brunches where she'd spend the whole time talking about her follower count and networking opportunities. Jake was eating it up though. He started wearing these weird designer clothes, and talking about his personal brand too. The real problem started when Jen began hanging out with Kate more. At first it was subtle. She stopped stealing my band shirts to sleep in, said they didn't look good on her Instagram. She started doing these juice cleanses instead of our morning coffee runs. Then it got worse. Suddenly, all our date nights turned into networking events and professional development seminars. My girl, who used to help me change oil on the bike, started complaining about breaking her nails. She even made me move my bike tools from the garage to the storage unit because they didn't fit the apartment's aesthetic. Like, what? Jake and Kate got engaged on New Year's but kept it quiet. Kate wanted to do some big announcement thing at their Valentine's Day party. I should have known something was up when she insisted on making it this fancy dinner party instead of our usual gaming night. After they got engaged, Jen changed completely. She's suddenly signing up for all these professional networking events that Kate recommended, spending crazy money on clothes she'd never wear before. Next thing I know, Jen's got a whole new wardrobe that looks exactly like Kate's style. She's even trying to talk like her, using words like synergy and personal brand optimization unironically. One day, I'm working late at the office, fixing some code for a client deadline. Jen texts, saying she's networking with Kate. Cool, nothing unusual there. But then my boy Chris, he rides a sick customized Road King, texts me a picture. Jen and Kate at this fancy rooftop bar with a bunch of suits, and Jen's practically hanging off this dude's every word. Chris was there meeting clients and knew something looked off. I finally had enough and tried talking to her about it one night after she bailed on our weekly game night for another one of Kate's networking mixers. Hey, can we talk for a second? I remember sitting on our couch trying to keep it casual. She barely looked up from her phone. I miss hanging out, like when's the last time we went to a bike meet or had game night with the crew? Man, the look she gave me, like I just suggested we live in a cave or something. Oh my god, is that what this is about, your little bike meets? She actually did air quotes. Kate's right, you're holding me back with all this garage stuff. Holding you back from what? From reaching my potential. Look at Kate. She's got 50,000 followers, and companies are fighting to work with her. What am I supposed to tell people? That my boyfriend's idea of networking is pizza and PlayStation? I just sat there for a minute like, who even was this person? This wasn't my Jen, who used to get excited about new game releases and help me pick out bike parts. Level up my network. She actually said that with a straight face, followed by some speech about how Kate was opening her eyes to new opportunities and how I should be thinking bigger. When I pointed out she used to love our game nights, she just rolled her eyes and said, yeah, when I was settling. Settling. After 10 years together, she was calling our life settling. I had a feeling there was more to this Kate thing that got Jen hooked. I started noticing Jen texting at all hours. She'd jump every time her phone buzzed, changed her password too. Not that I ever checked her phone, but we used to know each other's in case of emergencies. She said it was for work privacy, but man, I should have seen what was really going on. Then she stopped coming to our weekend car meets. These meets were our thing since high school, where we first really connected. Instead, she's suddenly all about these fancy charity galas and networking events that Kate keeps inviting her to. She always said I could come too, but had this tone like my regular clothes weren't good enough. Jake seemed different too. He started skipping our Tuesday night gaming sessions, kept saying he was busy with work, but his Steam status showed him online. When we did hang out, he was weird about talking about Kate or Jen. I actually started feeling bad, like maybe I was the problem. Maybe I should be going to these networking events instead of working on my bike or gaming with the boys. I started wearing business casual to the office instead of my usual jeans and tees, even considered selling the street bob, because Jen said it didn't fit our new lifestyle. During that time, Jake decides to throw this Valentine's Day party at his place. Not his usual style, we normally just grab pizza and play Elden Ring or something. But Kate was all about making it this fancy dinner party thing. Whatever, I figured we'd survive one night of pretending to be fancy. It starts with Jen literally spending 4 hours getting ready. Not even exaggerating, she's locked in our bathroom from 3 in the afternoon. I'm sitting there in my room, trying to get some work done on a client project due, and every time I ask if she's okay, she snaps at me, saying she needs to look perfect. This from the girl who used to get ready for dates in 20 minutes max. Finally, she comes out wearing this red dress that probably cost more than my first bike. Now look, I'm not usually the type to comment on what anyone wears, but this wasn't a nice dress for a party situation. This was a trying to get stares situation. When I asked about it, trying to be casual like, new dress? She gets all defensive, saying I should be happy to have such a hot girlfriend. Bruh, what? I rode my bike to work that day because it was nice out, so we had to take her car to Jake's place. The whole ride there she's glued to her phone, fixing her makeup at every red light, barely saying 2 words to me. I tried making conversation about this new project at work, and she straight up tells me to be quiet because she's trying to concentrate. On what? Taking selfies? We get to Jake's place and it's like I stopped existing the moment we walk in. She makes a beeline for Jake, didn't even wait for me to hang up our coats, just speed walked over to him in these heels she could barely walk in, leaving me standing there like an idiot. There were like 8 other couples there, all friends from college and work. Everyone's dressed nice but normal, But Jen's over here looking like she's trying to be on Real Housewives or whatever, and the way she was acting, man, when you see someone trying way too hard, and it's just painful to watch. Yeah, that. She spent the entire night following Jake around, laughing at every single thing he said, like he was Dave Chappelle or something. Keep in mind, Jake tells dad jokes, bad ones. She's touching his arm, flipping her hair, doing all that obvious flirting stuff. Meanwhile, Kate's watching this whole thing and not saying a word, which should have tipped me off that something weird was going on. My boy Chris, the one with the Road King, pulls me aside during the party. He's like, bro, is everything okay with you and Jen? He says his wife Sarah was getting uncomfortable watching Jen throw herself at Jake, And Chris is the most oblivious dude I know. If he noticed something was wrong, you know it was bad. Dinner was when it got really stupid. Jake had these place cards set up. Somehow, between the kitchen and dining room, Jen managed to switch them around so she was sitting next to Jake instead of me. Middle school moves? So I ended up stuck between Kate and someone's random cousin. The whole dinner was just brutal. Jen's basically in Jake's lap, feeding him food from her plate. Who does that? I glared at her to have a sense of respect, but she didn't understand what I was trying to say. She kept making these weird comments about how good he looks in a suit. Jake's trying to play it cool, keeping his responses short, but Jen's not taking the hint. Meanwhile, Kate's just sitting there with this weird little smile, watching everything like she's taking notes for later. That's when Jen pulls her little accident. We're all sitting there, finishing dinner, when she knocks over her glass, spilling it all over that red dress. Now, listen, this is the same girl who once parallel parked my lowered Civic in stilettos while holding a full McDonald's coffee. She doesn't just accidentally spill stuff. The way she jumped up though, you'd think she'd spilled lava or something. Oh my god, Jake, can you help me clean this up? Her voice went all high-pitched. Like those girls in anime when they're trying to be cute. Everyone at the table just kind of froze. I counted to 30 in my head. 30 seconds. That's how long I waited, staring at my plate, wondering if I was being paranoid. Chris caught my eye across the table, giving me this look like, "You going to check on that?" So, I got up to check on them. The kitchen door was one of those swinging ones. I pushed it open slowly, didn't make a sound, and there they were. Jen had Jake pinned against the sink, and she was doing that thing with her hair she used to do when we first started dating. Jake's holding paper towels like a shield between them, looking mad uncomfortable. You ever been so angry you actually feel cold, like your whole body just goes into this weird calm state? I stood there, watching my high school sweetheart trying to seduce my best friend in someone else's kitchen, and everything just went quiet in my head. Jen, what the actual love is this? Jen spun around so fast she almost fell. For a split second she looked guilty. Then, man, it was like watching someone put on a mask. Her whole face changed. Oh my god, are you seriously spying on me right now? She went from 0 to nuclear in half a second. I can't believe you don't trust me. What, I can't even talk to Jake without you getting jealous? This is exactly what I mean about you being controlling. Jake's still got those paper towels in his hands, looking at the floor like it's got the secrets of the universe written on it, not saying a word. Some best friend, right? I could hear people in the dining room going quiet, chairs scraping as they tried to get a better listen. Kate appeared in the doorway, and I swear she had this tiny smirk on her face. I walked straight out the front door, past all our friends who were pretending not to stare, past the couples who were whispering to each other. I could hear her heels clicking on the hardwood behind me, getting faster and louder as she followed me down the hallway. She kept calling my name, her voice getting more desperate with each step. I made it to the driveway, with her still following, still calling out, even tried grabbing my arm at one point, but I just kept walking. I got in my car and drove off, watching her get smaller in my rearview mirror, just standing there in that red dress in Jake's driveway, probably realizing this wasn't going according to whatever plan she had. I got a text at 3 in the morning, staying at Amy's. Don't wait up. Like this was just another night out, like I hadn't caught her with her hands all over my best friend. That night, I crashed at my brother's place. He's got this sweet basement set up with an old PlayStation 4 and a mini fridge. I basically lived down there for 2 weeks straight. My phone was blowing up the whole time. Like 50+ missed calls from Jen. Hundreds of texts going from "you're overreacting" to "I miss you baby. Please come home" to "you're being a childish jerk." My brother kept telling me to stay put, saying something wasn't adding up. After spending 2 weeks at my brother's place, I wrapped up work early one day. We just landed a big contract, so I was in a pretty good mood. I figured it was the right time to head home and have a real talk about everything. I didn't tell her I was coming. I wanted to catch her as she was, not prepped with fake tears or some rehearsed speech. I took my bike because it was actually decent weather for February, like 50 degrees, practically summer for you guys in Minnesota. I pull up to our apartment complex, and the first thing I see is Jake's lifted F-150 in my parking spot. You know, the spot I specifically paid extra for to keep my bike covered. Now my brain's trying to come up with excuses. Maybe Jake's there to apologize. Maybe they're talking about work. Jen's company sometimes contracted with us for tech stuff. But something in my gut just knew. I still had my key, thank God I didn't mail it back when she asked. The moment I walk in, I hear music playing. Not just any music, the same playlist she made for our first anniversary, the one with all these cheesy love songs we used to make fun of but secretly liked. Our apartment isn't big, basically just a living room, kitchen, 1 bedroom. I can hear laughing from the living room. I walk in, and yeah, there's Jen and Jake sitting on our couch so close, talking, giggling and looking intimate. What got me suffocated was that she was wearing that love red dress. They had this fancy cheese board set up, Jake trying to be all sophisticated now because of Kate like it was some kind of special occasion. They both jumped up when they saw me. Jake started with the "this isn't what it looks like" BS. Jen just sat there, looking shocked, like she couldn't believe I had the nerve to come to my own apartment. I didn't say anything, didn't yell, didn't flip out, just turned around and walked out. I could hear Jen running after me in the hallway, those same heels clicking on the floor that she wore to the party. She caught up to me at the elevator, grabbing my arm, crying about how she could explain everything. According to her, she invited Jake over to talk about me, said she was trying to get him to convince me to come back home. Right, because you need to wear a red cocktail dress, and set up a whole damn spread for that conversation. The worst part? She kept going with the excuses, said the dress was just because she wanted to look nice, said the music was just on shuffle. Yeah right, that specific playlist just happened to be playing. I fired up my bike and ripped out of there, full throttle, no hesitation. I didn't look back, didn't think, just rode fast, hard. The roar of the engine drowned out everything, the betrayal, the love, the pathetic excuses. I wasn't running away, I was leaving that whole damn mess in the dust where it belonged. I rode until the rage settled into something sharper, something colder. I pulled into a late-night garage I knew, one where real bikers worked, men who didn't deal in fake friendships and backstabbing. I stripped off my jacket, grabbed a wrench, and went to work. I needed to put my hands on something real, something solid, unlike the people I thought I could trust. At that moment, Jen was nothing to me, just a mistake I'd finally erased. Jake? He wasn't my problem anymore, never would be again. And me? I was done playing nice, done being the guy who gave people the benefit of the doubt. I'd come out of this sharper, colder, a hell of a lot more dangerous to anyone who thought they could manipulate me. My phone was straight up having a seizure with notifications. Jen sending paragraph after paragraph, scrambling to gaslight me. Nothing happened, you're being paranoid, I would never cheat. Jake trying to call, stammering in voicemails about how he needed to explain. Explain what? That he was weak? That he let this love happen? That he wasn't man enough to shut it down the second it started? I didn't need their excuses. I blocked them both, let them drown in the mess they made. After Jen realized I wasn't going to respond to her love messages, she switched tactics completely. It drove her crazy that I didn't give a love about her the moment she cheated. Instead of begging for forgiveness or trying to explain, she went full offensive, started this massive campaign to make me look like the bad guy. First it started on social media. She's posting these vague stories about toxic men and controlling relationships. You know the type. Those quotes about if he doesn't trust you to have male friends, that's a red flag type stuff. Never mentioned me by name, but everyone knew who she was talking about. Then she started telling people I was checking her phone while she slept. Me, the guy who builds security systems for a living and respects privacy so much I won't even use biometric locks. She told everyone I had jealousy issues and would flip out if she talked to male coworkers. Meanwhile, I literally hired 3 women developers last month for our company because they were the best candidates. The real crazy part? She edited our old text conversations, like actually took time to Photoshop texts to make me look controlling. She showed people these fake screenshots where I'm supposedly forbidding her from going to work events or talking to colleagues. Anyone who knows me knows I literally never text in full sentences, it's all GIFs and emojis, but people believed her anyway. You know what's wild? Some of our friends, people I've known since college, straight up ghosted me without even asking for my side. My cousin Lisa, who introduced us at prom, calls me screaming about how she never thought I could be such a monster. Like, we grew up together. You really think I turned into some controlling psycho overnight? The business stuff was the worst though. Jen told Amy, her friend who works at this company we do lots of contracts with, that I was emotionally abusive. Amy tells her boss, who tells other people, and suddenly clients are getting concerned about working with us. We had 3 clients pull out of deals we'd been working on for months. I lost about half our friend group. These dudes I used to game with every weekend, guys who came to all my track days and helped me work on my bike, just straight up believed her. One of them even posted this long Facebook status about standing with victims and tagged a bunch of our mutual friends. Like, bro, we were literally playing Warzone together last week and you never saw any red flags? The car scene got weird too. Jen went to one of our local meets, first time in months by the way, and told everyone there I was trying to control what she wore and who she talked to. Some of these guys I've known since high school started giving me looks at meets, like I was some kind of monster. Even my parents started asking questions. My mom called, asking if I needed to talk to someone about anger management. My mom, who literally last month was telling me I needed to be more assertive at work. Dad at least took my side, but it caused this whole fight between them. I started losing sleep, couldn't focus at work. Jake's still sending emails trying to explain, but I'm not reading them. Jen's friends are messaging me saying I need to take accountability and look at my toxic behaviors. Meanwhile, I'm sitting here like, am I going crazy? It got so bad that I started recording all my calls and saving every text conversation. I started avoiding local spots because I didn't want to deal with the looks, even switched gyms because people were talking behind my back at my old one. My bike in the garage became my only safe space. Can't have drama when it's just you and a wrench, you know? The worst was when one of our biggest clients, this startup we'd been working with since they had like 5 employees, called a meeting to discuss concerns about our company culture. I had to sit there for 2 hours, explaining that no, I'm not an abuser, and yes, we do respect women in tech. I almost lost a $200,000 contract because my ex decided to play victim. I was seriously thinking about getting lawyers involved. Like, this isn't just relationship drama anymore. She's messing with my business, my reputation, my whole life. I started documenting everything, saving screenshots, asking people to send me the stuff she was saying about me. My brother kept telling me to just wait it out, that the truth would come out eventually. Easy for him to say, he wasn't the one watching his whole life get torn apart on social media. One night, I was in the office, staying late, trying to fix this mess with our clients, got energy drinks everywhere, haven't shaved in days, probably looking like some code zombie. My work Discord starts blowing up. Everyone in our friend group chat is tagging me. I almost ignored it, been avoiding group chat since everything went down, but then I see it, screenshots of an email Kate sent to everyone. This wasn't just some regular email either, this was a full-on confession with receipts. Turns out, Kate had been running this whole loyalty test thing behind the scenes. Why? Because she's apparently one of those people who thinks everyone's going to cheat eventually, so she wanted to test Jake before marrying him. Her master plan? Get Jen to try to seduce Jake, absolute love plans. Kate had been working on Jen for months, all those networking events and professional development meetups. Just Kate manipulating Jen, telling her how Jake was more successful than me, how she could upgrade her life by getting with him. Kate shared all the texts between her and Jen. It's straight up crazy to read, Kate. Don't you think Jake has more ambition? OP seems stuck in his garage lifestyle. Jen, OP is building his business though. Kate, but Jake's the real brains behind it. Everyone knows that. She'd been feeding Jen this BS for months, playing on every little insecurity, telling her I was holding her back from some imaginary perfect life. She even helped her pick out that red dress, saying it was the kind of thing Jake's type would wear. And the Valentine's party? Kate planned the whole thing. She knew exactly what she was doing, putting Jen and Jake next to each other, getting everyone to watch how Jake would react. Even the drink spill was planned. Kate had suggested it as a classic move, but what Kate didn't plan is that somewhere along the line, Jen actually caught feelings for Jake, started believing all Kate's manipulation. That's why she kept pushing even after the party disaster. Kate's texts show she was freaking out because this wasn't part of her plan. She just wanted to test Jake, not actually have Jen try to steal him. And the apartment conversation? Jen going rogue. Kate's email shows she was texting Jen to back off, saying the test was done, but Jen wasn't playing anymore. She was fully trying to get with Jake. Kate was pressured to confess because Jake found the texts on her phone and flipped out. Turns out he had no idea about any of this. He'd been trying to handle Jen's advances quietly because he didn't want to cause drama in our friend group. He thought he was protecting our friendship by not telling me. The email included screenshots of everything. Kate coaching Jen on how to dress and act, their conversations planning the Valentine's party, Jen's messages getting more and more obsessed with Jake, Kate trying to shut it down when it got too real, Jake's messages to Kate when he found out. Everyone who believed Jen's lies about me being controlling got to see how she was working with Kate to create fake evidence. All those edited screenshots she showed people? Kate helped her make them. The group chat exploded. People started sending me private apologies, and those friends who posted about standing with victims got real quiet now. My cousin Lisa called crying, saying she should have known better. But here's the thing that really gets me. This whole mess started because Kate couldn't trust Jake. She literally created the exact situation she was afraid of. And Jen? She threw away a 10-year relationship because she got played by someone who was supposed to be her friend. I didn't respond to any of the apologies. Just sat in my garage working on the bike, trying to process everything. Jake kept blowing up my phone, but honestly, I didn't even know what to say to him anymore. Then Kate's email exposed everything, and suddenly I had to deal with the business side of this mess. Jake and I built this company from nothing, but after everything, there was no way I could keep working with him. Here's the thing about starting a business with your best friend, you never think about what happens if it all goes wrong. We had clients worth millions, contracts that needed both of us, code that only he knew how to maintain. Real mess. Jake kept trying to fix things, showed up at the office at 7 in the morning every day, leaving notes on my desk about how sorry he was, how he should have told me about Jen's weird behavior. But like, bro code exists for a reason. You tell your boy when his girl's acting sus. That's just basic friendship 101. I had to call an emergency meeting with our lawyers, spent like 12 hours straight figuring out how to split the company. Jake offered to buy me out, said I could take any clients I wanted, but nah, I built this thing too. We ended up doing a clean 50-50 split. I kept our original company name, and half the clients, he started his own thing. Some of our developers had to choose sides. Most of the ones I hired stuck with me, which was cool. We lost some good coders to Jake's new company, but that's business, I guess. At least the clients understood. Turns out, company restructuring sounds better than my business partner let my girlfriend try to seduce him as part of his fiancé's weird loyalty test. Then Jen shows up at my office one day, not even kidding, walks in wearing normal clothes for once, jeans and a hoodie, like how she used to dress, carrying 2 cups of coffee, like it's just another morning. My new secretary, I had to hire one after everything, tried to stop her, but Jen just walked right past. She starts crying the moment she sees me, saying she got caught up in Kate's mind games and lost sight of what mattered. She says she misses riding on the back of my bike, watching me work on projects, playing games together. She actually tried to hand me a controller, saying we could go back to how things were. I just sat there, listening to her whole speech about how Kate manipulated her, how she got carried away with the test, how she never meant to catch feelings for Jake. Then she hits me with, I was just playing a role that got out of hand. That's when I realized this wasn't even about being sorry. This was about her losing her perfect life plan. Jake didn't want her. Kate wasn't her friend anymore, and all those networking connections she made were gone. She was trying to go back to her backup plan, me. I told her to leave and never come back, had security flag her photo just in case. I blocked her on everything, even LinkedIn, because she kept trying to message me there. The whole mess actually helped my business in the end. Turns out some clients prefer working with drama-free companies. We got 3 new contracts last week, bigger than anything we had before. I even hired 2 new developers. One's a girl who rides a Ducati Monster, which is pretty sick. Speaking of bikes, something good actually came out of this whole mess. I've been hanging at this local CrossFit gym my brother goes to, trying to keep my mind off everything, and that's where I met Emma. I noticed her Sportster 883 in the parking lot one day. Almost did a double take because you don't see many gym owners who ride. Turns out, she's legit into bikes, not just for show. We got talking after a class about mods she's planning for her Sportster. And she actually knew what she was talking about. Not the usual my ex had a bike kind of conversation. She was breaking down gear ratios and talking about different cam options. She's pretty cool, used to work in tech before opening the gym. She coded their whole booking system herself, rides better than half the guys I know, and there's zero drama. We hit up a track day last weekend. She showed up early, bike already teched, giving tips to the newbies about tire pressure. The car scene's been decent too. Those guys who believed Jen's lies all came around once the truth came out, even asked me to judge their next show. I'm probably going to take Emma. She grew up wrenching on Chevys with her dad, so she actually gets it. And Jake? He moved to Seattle after he and Kate split. Friends say he's finding himself or whatever. Cool. Hope he finds his spine while he's at it. Business is solid now. I got my garage back, finally moved all my tools from storage, and life's settling down. I've been teaching Emma some bike maintenance when she asks, and she actually wants to learn, not just pretending for social media. The first time I showed her how to adjust her chain tension, she looks at me all serious and goes, "Man, if I'm going to trust this bike with my life at 80 miles per hour, I better know how to take care of it properly." That's when I knew she was different.